So we are joined on Over the Top Sports by Manny Kess. He is the CEO of the Kess Group, which is a VIP concierge company that manages some big names in the sports industry, and he creates some crazy events, and he's been doing this for a long time with his sister, Elena. So, Manny, thank you for joining us. The history of the Kess Group, how did it come about, and what has the whole process been like?
Well, thanks, guys, for having me today. I appreciate your time. We started the Kess Group a little over 7 years ago. I personally moved out to Las Vegas a little over 8 years ago, and I started working for one of the nightlife groups, and after a year decided to go my own way and start my own company. I just wanted to be able to curate custom experiences and not have to make my clients pick and choose a venue that I had to be working in. So instead of saying, okay, you have to go to, let's say, the Wynn because that's where I'm working, or Wet Republic, or whatever the case might be, now I can curate a whole weekend, and my staff and I go with our clients to whatever venue we decide we want to go to. We're not limited.
So what type of services do you offer, and why you? Why should somebody going out to Vegas choose the Kess Group?
Well, we have a full-service concierge company, so it can be something as simple as booking your hotel room, to your dinner, to a night out in the town with significant other, friends, family, to we've done 2,000-person corporate events. We've done buyouts of venues. So it's pretty much the full gamut. Whatever you can think of that you want to do and accomplish, we can make happen. The why, it's reputation. You know, we are well known for curating unique experiences, and like I mentioned earlier, we don't have any limitations. So we can we work with everyone in town, all the hotels, all the restaurants, all the nightlife groups, and then we can curate and make a specific itinerary that caters each person or group's needs. That's the long and short of it. I mean, we work for the client.
So basically, I know you represent a lot of athletes. We'll get into that soon. Basically, if I could come to you with a budget, say a bachelor party, I'm with 10 guys, we're willing to spend X amount of dollars. We want to do this. We want to hit this restaurant. We want to hit this nightclub. You want to do this pool party. You can hook us all up for this and figure out the best way to assemble all of that for us.
Yes, and what we'll do is we'll go a step further. You know, like people come to Vegas and say, oh, I want to go to this particular place. We'll call it, Club A. Well, my first question is, why Club A? Well, because if you say my cousin went there 5 years ago, had a great time, that might be a problem because 5 years ago, that club might have been very different than what it is now. So my first priority is to find out what the group wants to do, give them several options, and then we can have a discussion and decide what the best itinerary and plan is for them. Because just because your cousin came a few years ago and loved the place does not mean you're going to love it.
And you we mentioned before, a lot of big-name athletes have used your services. We're talking Odell Beckham Jr., Von Miller, Jarvis Landry, Diggs, John Wall, Kevin Durant. How often do you get to see these guys, and what kind of services do you offer these big-name celebrities?
Well, I mean, our niche is kind of professional athletes. So obviously we started with a handful of guys that we knew, and over the years we've grown into where we are today, where we take care of roughly 30-40% of the NFL, a quarter of the NBA. And it depends. I mean, there's a couple of guys, like you mentioned, someone like Von Odell. They come to Vegas a few times a year. So I see them at least 2-3 times a year in Vegas. And then we're good friends. So I'll travel, I support them. I go to Denver to see Von play. I'm going to be going to Cleveland to see Odell. So it all depends on the person and what they do. Some of the guys that don't come to Vegas anymore, we hang out socially. Well, we might hit a trip together. We might go to Miami. We might go to LA for an event. I mean, we just finished doing this massive charity basketball game last month for the ESPYs, and it was a massive success. We had over 200 athletes come support us, about 25 of the guys playing the game. So depending on who it is, where they live, what they have going on in their life, I mean, we're constantly in contact. So it's a blessing. That's a really fun part of my job where I meet amazing people, and we get to carry that not just for business, but into a personal relationship, which is amazing.
And it sounds like you're talking about the second annual 50,000 charity challenge hosted by Mayweather and Gronkowski that you co-produced. Am I right?
You are correct, yes.
And give me a little more information about that. Somebody like you from New York
who goes out to Vegas, makes a name for himself, and now all of a sudden is co-producing an event with Mayweather and Gronk. I mean, it's quite the story, you know?
I mean, that's true. I mean, listen, truth be told, there were a lot of people together that made that event happen. It wasn't just myself or my company. We were just one piece of a very large pie. And we're lucky. We have a very good relationship with Floyd. He's not only – he loves to play ball, but he's also very he's got a huge philanthropic heart. The man does so much of charity that goes unnoticed. So when we approached him last year, he played in our game last year, but then when we approached him, we said, hey, listen, this year it's going to be bigger. We want you to be the captain of one of the teams. He was all for it. So he was a very big part of the equation, and obviously with his recognition and his global presence, it was very easy to get a lot of other people to join. We raised a lot of money and also a lot of awareness for a great charity, but the beauty of it is everyone that played was given a check to their charity. So Floyd got to give money to his charity, Gronk to his, etc. So a lot of the guys were able to give back to their individual charities. So together, it was pretty cool. We had close to 8,000 people attend the event. So it was pretty massive. And, yeah, a kid that was born in Staten Island and raised in Bayside, Queens. Not bad. Going to the West Coast.
Good for you, Manny. That's awesome. So a little side note here. You mentioned you're familiar with Odell Beckham. He is your friend. He's done some services. We're very big Giant fans over here at Over the Top Sports. So I just want to get a little thoughts from you and pick your brain about the Odell trade, and maybe you have a little inside track speaking to him. How do you feel about the trade? We hear him coming out all the time, but you as a close friend, is there anything you could tell us about how Odell handled that trade and what he's looking forward to in the future?
I mean, listen, I personally was shocked. He loved New York. I mean, I think he's a great asset on and off the field. Definitely, there was a lot of shock the way that it went down, the way that things happened. I can't speak for him, but I can tell you as a friend of his, I wasn't happy with how things turned out. But he's excited. He's loving Cleveland. He's getting to play with Jarvis, who is one of his closest friends. And I think right now, with everything that's going on around the league and with all the chatter, he's just excited to get back on the field and show everyone, you know, what they're missing, including the Giants. So there's a lot of excitement. I think he is – I know he's healthy and he's very motivated. So it should be a very interesting and entertaining season in Cleveland for those guys.
All right, so let's talk Vegas again, since you basically are Mr. Vegas, let's say that. Everybody wants to party with you in Vegas, right? What is the number one mistake made for people who go to Vegas?
The number one, I mean, that's a tough one, but I think the number one mistake people make is they heard about some place and they think it's what they need to do. So, for example, you know, you've never been here before, but your cousin came 3 years ago with his wife and kids, and they stayed at some place and they checked out this pool and this party, and because they had the best time, you automatically think, oh my God, I need to go to that place. When in fact, it's the complete opposite of where you want to go, because what your cousin and his wife and kids did is not what you want to do when you're single coming out here with 5-year boys. So it's listening to people that aren't professionals in that field and just following advice blindly.
And I want to be clear here, just as a follow-up, is you're not just exclusive to athletes. You're, random Joe Schmo taking a trip out to Vegas should be giving you guys a call and having you plan and set up his trip.
Absolutely, yeah. There's nothing too small or too big for us. We just want to give people a unique experience. We work with all budgets and all people. We're lucky that we've had the opportunity to work with a lot of athletes and, foreign dignitaries. We've worked with some amazing celebrities, but we also deal with, listen, I'm from New York. You know how many guys I have that come out here from New York, just from the neighborhood? It doesn't matter. We want to make sure that people have the best time with their budget, however big or small it might be.
So we're talking as the big-time VIP manager, and you just heard it. This is the same guy that hooks up guys like Odell Beckham, like Von Miller. He's got the big-time names over there, and you could be partying and getting your events planned with the same exact guy, the VIP manager, Manny Kess. Thank you so much for coming on Over the Top Sports. We really appreciate your time. We're going to spread you out. We're going to get your name out there. And, hey, I go to Vegas 2 to 3 times a year. I'm going to have to use the Kess Group again. That's what everybody's got to go to. You want to hit up the Kess Group. You want to deal with Manny Kess because he's going to give you the best time you ever had in Las Vegas.
I appreciate your time, guys.
Thank you for joining us,
Thanks,
Manny.
man.